Sparkle Squad, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Jasmine and welcome to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 15 surprising facts about figure skating. So I found this list on the website called Mental Floss, and the title of the list is 15 surprising facts about figure skating. And I'm going to be reading each of the 15 facts for you guys. And I'm really excited to do this video because when I was reading through the list, there were some things that really surprised me, and I was like, what? So I'm really excited, and without further ado, let's get started. Before we get into this list, I wanted to read you guys this little introduction that they had before the items on the list, and here's what it says. If you only pay attention to figure skating once every 4 years, you're missing out on one of the most passionately practiced sporting events in the world. To get you up to speed, we've gathered some fast facts about this perfect pairing of art and athleticism. Okay, so that is what the introduction said, and now let's move on to the items on the list. Okay, so the first item on this list is that figure skating is the oldest winter game. And then under that it says figure skating debuted during the London Olympic Games in 1908, predating the beginning of the formal winter games by 16 years. So this means that figure skating was one of the oldest, one of the very first Winter Olympic Games that was in the Winter Olympics, which I think is really cool. And to this day, it is still one of the best winter games. Not being mean to any of the other winter sports, but figure skating is just the best. The second fact is that skates used to be made of animal bones, which I find is pretty disgusting because you're putting animal bones on your feet. Okay, under it says, before people began to develop artistic expression through skates, they used them as a practical form of transportation. Thousands of years ago, residents in Finland strapped animal bones to their feet to glide across frozen lakes rather than walk around them. Scientists believe they might have also used wooden poles to propel themselves forward. Metal blades didn't arrive until the 13th century. 1,000 years ago is a long time ago. It's the Ice Age or something. I don't know. But that's a long time ago. And it's kind of cool how they made ice skates for themselves out of bones. Even though it's disgusting to me. But it's cool how they could figure out a way to just cross the ice and not have to walk around it. So I find that it's actually really cool. So now let's move on to the next fact. The third fact is a clever invention made figure skating possible. Now under it says, prior to E.V. Bushnell inventing a secure clip for metal skates, it wasn't possible to perform intricate maneuvers on blades. They'd simply fall off or injure the wearer. But when Bushnell unveiled skates that could be clipped to the foot in 1848, more elaborate moves became possible. That's cool. So this person, E.V. Bushnell, figured out a way that to take that blade that they had and then just secure it to your foot. I remember seeing old skates where it's this thing, and then they would just wear regular boots, walking boots, and then they would put it on their feet, and then that's how they would skate, and then that's how they would jump and stuff, and it's really cool. And taking that and then seeing now skates is just totally different. So the fourth fact is that ice dancing grew out of the waltz. Under it says, modern figure skating can involve ice dancing, an activity dating back to a harsh London winter in 1862. But the first concrete example may have come in the 1880s when the Vienna Skating Club began to mimic the waltz on ice during their gatherings. Ice dancing wasn't recognized in the Winter Games until 1976. That's a long time. 1880 to 1976 is almost 100 years. That's 94 years. What were they doing during that 94 years? Were they sleeping? Okay, wait. So there's the Olympic Committee, the people who organize all the sports and everything. They were over here sleeping, and then there's this Vienna Skating Club over here just ice dancing all over the place. And they took forever to figure out that, oh my gosh, this is actually good. We should just put it in the Olympics. So the fifth fact is that the first world championships were gender mixed. And then under it says, skating competitions haven't always been broken up by gender. During a St. Petersburg, Russia event in 1896, there was one division and only men were allowed to compete. Wait, what? Only men were allowed to compete? That's just rude. I feel they should have let women compete. Just take out this and edit it into like woman. That's what we're gonna do. Because I feel like they have like more artistry or something. So it would be like better because like figure skating is like, you know, the ballet and like the artistry and stuff. But okay, so then there's more. When the World Championships were held in London in 1902, a woman named Maje Sayers entered and took second behind male winner Erlich Zerkow. A separate division for women was instituted 3 years later. That's good, but like 3 years? Why are these people taking so long to like add something? Like right now, the like skating committee could just go like, so like I don't want this, it'll just take them like 2 weeks and they could already take it out. But like, I mean, maybe back then it was a little harder because like they didn't have like all this technology and stuff. So, but still, 3 years is a lot. But at least they finally like figured out they wanted to separate it. So the sixth fact is that a plane crash wiped out the entire US team, and this one's really sad. Under it says the best American skaters were en route to a competition in, I don't know if I'm going to say this correctly, but like Paraguay? Hopefully I said that correctly. Okay, in 1961 when the plane crashed, killing everyone on board. Out of respect for those who were lost, the competition was canceled. It would be several years before the U.S. could rebound from the tragedy and once again become a presence on the international scene. So this is really sad, and I feel like really bad for everyone who was on the plane. So U.S. Figure Skating came out with this movie about this, and it's like, it's not really a movie, it's more of a documentary. It's called Rise, and you guys should definitely go watch it if you guys have a chance. So it's like Rise, and it's like really sad, but it's like a documentary, so it's also like really good. And Scott Hamilton is like the one talking, so that makes it a lot better because Scott Hamilton is like a legend. But I feel really sad, and like whenever I like see this, I just feel like I want to cry. But I'm really happy that like the U.S. Figure Skating Committee was able to like regain itself and like come back. The seventh fact is that the blade is serrated in front. Wait, people didn't know that? Okay. Figure skaters can pivot and stop short thanks to a barely visible serrated edge on the tip of their blades, also known as the toe pick. Wait, since when is your toe pick an edge? Wait, I don't recall seeing any skater like gliding on their toe picks before, unless if you're like going backwards, but that's just weird. Okay, so it grabs the ice and it helps skaters prepare for jumps. So what I'm getting from here is that people don't know what a toe pick is, and that you can barely see it even though it's like right there in the front of your skate. You look at a skate, that's almost like the first thing you see because it looks like these little like daggers sticking out of a blade. But like people are just like, here's the blade, this is like the like extra stones right here, but then here's the blade. I actually skate on this, and then I don't know what this does. But then I've actually been to a public skate before, but like these public skaters, they ask, so like the worker they're giving them the skates are like, what's the difference between like the hockey skates or like the figure skates? And then they show them and they're like, here's the two skates, this one has a toe pick, this one doesn't, and they're like, I'll take the hockey skates because they think that the like toe pick is there for like decoration or something. It's like the star on the Christmas tree or whatever. But like, how do people not know that? That's just so weird. So the eighth fact is that you don't want to be anywhere near them during a landing. So under it says male skaters weighing 150 pounds or more can land on the ice following a jump with extraordinary force, more than 100 pounds of pressure. So where's the women's? Okay, so like, okay, wait. So if 150 pounds is like for the men, and that's like 1,000. So then if you have like the woman skaters like around 100-ish, it's like 600 pounds when you land, 600, 700, in between that. I don't know. That's still a lot, and they could have at least calculated that too. Like, does every male skater weigh 150 pounds? No. Is every woman skater weigh 100 pounds? No, but like they could have put something there for women. The next fact is that there are moves male skaters can't do. And then under it says, the layback spin that requires skaters to lean back with their shoulders and head puts considerably pressure on the spinal column and demands a great deal of flexibility. It's thought that female skaters typically have more success doing the maneuver than men. Excuse me, not every female skater. So I'm a female and I don't like doing laybacks and I can barely do one. Because my back, so I'm here, I go into the layback, I go, and like I can barely make it like this far, like rest of the people, I go like, so my layback is like pretty bad, and that just because men can't do it, and like 90% of female skaters do it, doesn't mean that every female skater can do it. The 10th fact is that they spin at 300 revolutions per minute. Under it says, have you wondered how skaters can endure the seemingly impossible speed reach when they execute a spinning jump? So do we. At more than 300 revolutions per minute, RPM, figure skaters experience as much RPM as astronauts in centrifuge training. Okay, that's actually really cool. I never knew that like we could spin that fast. I mean, I know that figure skaters definitely spin like really fast, and like especially when they jump, like those 15-year-olds doing like quads, they go and they spin like at like 2 million milliseconds and it's like really, really fast. It's like amazing. So it's really cool to know that. The 11th fact is that vocals are banned during routines. Under it says, you may not have noticed, but at many top-level competitions, skaters who take to the ice with musical accompaniment have to abide by a strict rule. None of the music can include vocals. I don't know when this was wrote, but this was wrote a long time ago, because I know that like a pretty long time ago that they like, it wasn't that long ago, but you weren't allowed to have vocals in music because apparently it was distracting. But then all like the skaters were like, but I want vocals, so then figure skating let us have vocals in our music again. And I mean, I had vocals in my music like last season, and I also had it last year for my Beauty and the Beast program. I had vocals in it too. Not that many, but I still had some in it, like at the beginning and end, and then in my short last season. So I didn't get banned, so this was written a while ago. Just letting you guys know, vocals are not banned in skating competitions. So the 12th fact is that the wrong costume can cost them points. Under it says, in many skating competitions, judges can deduct a point if they consider a skater's costume to be overly garish or provocative. While that sounds dangerously subjective, the point is only deducted if multiple judges agree that the outfit is in poor taste. This also goes for like if you have a costume malfunction, like if you have like a flower on your shoulder and it like falls off in the middle of your program, so they also deduct a point for that. So what they really mean by this is like if your costume is like in really bad shape, or like if it's like falling off of you, or even if it doesn't have to be perfect with your music, it just has to kind of like match. So like say you're skating to Carmen or something, like you're skating to like really classical music, you can't have like a rainbow dress or like a flapper dress. That just won't work. So it has to kind of be like in the same style of your music. So say that if I'm skating to like my free skate from last season, and if I take my short program from last season, I can't switch the dresses because I would get a costume deduction for that, which I don't want that. Okay, so the 13th fact is that they can't use props. Under it says, skaters performing routines are expected to succeed or fail based on their individuality and skill set. They can't use props. The only time you'll see a figure skater accessorizing is during exhibitions like the one held during 1972 when a silver medalist appeared with a plastic umbrella. So it wasn't just in 1972, because right now there's a lot of times where skaters can use props in their skating, like, you know, if you do a show, like, or US Figure Skating has like Showcase, so you could do that, or ISI, and then like also like those those galas at the end of competitions, or like skaters do like their fun programs and stuff. So those are places where you would see people, like skaters, using props on the ice. But other than that, like if you're doing like a competition, like, you know, if you go to the Olympics or something, you wouldn't see a skater with a prop. And I feel like everyone should know that, because there's like a difference between, like, you know, like figure skating that's not showcased and then figure skating that is showcased. There's a difference between those two. The 14th fact is that they use crash pads. Under it says, inexperienced figure skaters are best served adding padding to their bodies to cushion against hard falls on the ice. While helmets are not uncommon, particularly for younger skaters, many also wear crash pads that essentially cushioning for the buttocks in the event of a rear landing. So that is true. It's not just like inexperienced figure skaters, because like, I mean, you even see like Olympians when they're in practice, they're wearing like butt pads or crash pads, whatever you want to call it, or like knee pads or elbow pads, whatever they need, because like they really don't want to fall and like break something, even though you can still break something even if you're padded, but it's less likely kind of, and it doesn't hurt as much. Especially like if you look, like maybe take like one of the bigger skaters like Alyssa Liu or something, or like the Russian girls working on like quads, they probably have like pads or something that they use while they're jumping so they don't like hurt themselves. So it's not just like inexperienced figure skaters. So mainly everyone uses them, and I use them because like it just helps. It helps a lot, and it doesn't hurt as bad when you fall. The 15th and final fact is that the U.S. medals every time. Under it says, despite stiff competition from perennial rival Russia, the United States has been well represented in figure skating competition during the Winter Games. The country has won at least one medal during every event dating back to 1948. That's 18 consecutive competitions. So this is true. It doesn't mean that we're always at the top, like we're always going to get first place, but usually at the competitions that you look at, like maybe if you look at the Olympics, in most of the events, you can see that U.S. is on the podium, like either first, second, third, and that is pretty cool to know that. Okay, so those are all of the 15 facts that I had to share with you guys, and I hope that you guys enjoyed. I want you guys to comment down below which of these 15 facts surprised you guys the most. For me, it was probably the one where people didn't know like what toe picks were, or also the one where they used bones as like blades to like go across the ice. I thought that one was pretty cool. So anyways, also don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I love you guys. Bye!